I'm going to read it so everybody can hear it.
I heard it before.
Okay. Well, all these big kids have to read the title for us. Room on the Broom. That's right. All right. Looks kind of Halloweeny, but it's really not. The witch had a cat and a hat that was black and long ginger hair and a braid down her back. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and blew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off the hat.
Oops.
Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes, on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with the hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely, then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me? Yes, cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped the broom, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the fields and the forest they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud and held on to her hat, but away blew the bow from her braid, just like that.
Oops.
Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then out from a tree with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with a bow in her beak. She dropped it politely and bent her head low, then said, as the witch tied the braid in the bow, I am a bird as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me? Yes, cried the witch. So the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the reeds and the rivers they flew. The birds shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond. The witch clutched her bow, but let go of her wand. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Then all of a sudden, from out of a pond, leapt a dripping wet frog with a dripping wet wand. He dropped it politely, then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand on a fold of her cloak, I am a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me? Yes, said the witch, so the frog bounded on. Then the witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy, and the broom snapped in two. Down fell the cat and the dog and the frog. Down they went, tumbling into a bog. The witch's half broomstick flew into a cloud, and the witch heard a roar that was scary and loud. I am a dragon as mean as can be, and a witch with french fries tastes delicious to me. No, cried the witch, flying higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. Help, cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon drew near with a glint in his eyes and said, just this once I'll have witch without fries. But just as he planned to begin on his feast, from out of a ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark, and sticky, and feathered and furred. It had 4 frightful heads. It had wings like a bird. And its terrible voice, when it started to speak, was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek. It dripped and it squelched as it strode from the ditch, and it said to the dragon, buzz off, that's my witch. The dragon drew back, and he started to shake. I'm sorry, he spluttered. I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly. And he spread out his wings and was off through the sky. Then down flew the bird, and down jumped the frog. Down climbed the cat, and whew, said the dog. And thank you, oh, thank you, the grateful witch cried. Without you, I'd be in that dragon's insides. Then she filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, find something, everyone, throw something in. So the frog found a lily, the cat found a comb, the bird found a twig, and the dog found a bone. They threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well, and while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Iggity, ziggity, zaggity, zoom. Then out rose a truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a pool for the frog. Yes, cried the witch, and they all clambered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. You know what I like about this story? Sometimes you're the witch, and sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're just having a terrible, no good, horrible, bad day, right? When everything's going wrong, and you're losing your hat, and you lose your hair bow, and you lose your homework, and you lose your wand, and God bless you if your broom breaks in half, right? Sometimes we all have those days. But you know what's great about the book? Sometimes we're the frog and the dog and the bird, and we can help others, and we can find other ways to show God's love by helping someone. And there's room for us all on that broom. Y'all listen, because I got something else to tell you. There's room for everyone. Just like today we have all these visitors with us, because there's room in God's family for all of us. So I read these statistics today. In order for each of you and all of us and me too to be born, we needed 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, 32 great-great-great-grandparents, 64 4 times great-grandparents, 128 5 times great-grands, 256 6 great times great-grands, 512 7 times great-grands, 1,024 8 times great-grands, and 2,048 9 times great-grandparents, just for you to be born. And that's just 12 previous generations for about 400 years. You needed 4,094 people just for you to be born. Now, I want you to think about those 4,094 people that you don't even know. Some of you only know your parents. Some of you didn't get to meet your grandparents or your great-grandparents, and certainly not your 9 times great-grandparents, right? Think about how many struggles they had to go through and how many battles they had to win. How much sadness and how many tears, but how much happiness. How many love stories and how much hope for the future did all of your ancestors, even past 400 years, go through just so you could be here. And the fun thing about today is homecoming. We have lots of visitors, but everybody look out there. Lots of these people have had struggles and hard times and love stories and spent hours working on music and Sunday school lessons and picking sign language and skits for you to do so you can belong to the family of God, which has way more than 4,094 ancestors. So I want you to think about that as we fellowship today, that there's so many of us in God's family, but there's so much more room on the broom for others. Okay? All right, listen, we're going to say our prayer, and then we're going to play handbells, and then you can have your bulletin, okay? I remember them all. Dear God, thank you for those in this family of faith that have led us to Christ and continue to show us great examples. Let us all remember that there's plenty of more room in your family. In your name we pray. Amen.